Owning a home is still the American dream, but it comes with plenty of emotional and financial challenges. Join real estate broker Ron Evans each week as he shares the latest industry and local real estate market news through interviews with other agents and industry professionals. If you're confused about today's real estate market or just want to understand the home buying and selling process, this show is for you. Here's your host, Ron Evans.
Hey there, welcome back once again. I am continuing on my series of how to get the most dollars for your home as you go to sell. We are definitely in a market shift and things are changing. We have a lot less demand, but we also still have low inventory, but we need to kind of get back into some old school methods of selling to help get our sellers the most bang for their buck and the highest dollar possible. If you don't know, I am Ron Evans. You've reached Real Estate 101, my podcast and YouTube channel. I am a real estate broker here in Orange County, California, and I love to help all kinds of people with their real estate transactions throughout all of Southern California. A lot of what I talk about is geared directly towards Southern California, but then other things you can actually use across any market in our country. So listen in, watch. If you have any comments, please drop them. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. You can always send me an email to Ron Evans. Real Estate 101 at ronevansrealty.com or 949-929-2270. Shoot me a text message, but let's get going. So home renovations, they can generate a lot of money for you when done properly, but you also don't need to go overboard when thinking about selling your home and what you should do to get it ready to sell. So I want to cover which home renovations can generate you the highest ROI, return on your investment. Did you know that not all home renovations affect your home's value? That's true. In other words, your ROI could be next to nothing on some of these renovations. Even if you do see a return on your investment, it's sometimes less than half of what you paid. So we want to set you up for success with things that are going to generate a 1x return on your investment. So something higher than what you paid for it, not less or even what you paid for it, right? You don't need a 1-for-1. Was it worth it? Fortunately, many home renovations provide an exceptional return on your investment. Knowing what they are and how much of a return you get can help you decide. Now let's cover why home renovations affect your home's value. So before we get into the list of renovations, let's consider and look at why home renovations do affect your value. When you improve your home, you improve its features or its quality, both of which affect the home's value. On top of that, what I like to tell people is you also take away any negatives up front. Remember, when someone comes into your home, if they've seen it online, or if it's the first time they're seeing it, most people when they come in, they see the high price tag, they're not looking for what's right. They're looking for what's wrong. How much more money am I going to have to put into this house? So the more negatives we can take away up front, the better off you're going to be on top of the return on your investment. Because remember, the investment's not always a dollar for dollar. It could be an investment of time, investment of mindset. So when you improve your home, you improve its features or quality, both of which affect the home's value. Buyers are more likely to pay more for a home that's recently renovated than one that needs repairs or is outdated. But which home renovation should you do? And I like that previous sentence, repairs or outdated. There is a difference. You can have a home that's fully updated, but if it was updated improperly, didn't have the right materials or poor quality, there could be repairs that need to be made to maximize the dollars that you already spent renovating. Or a home could be totally clean and beautiful and well taken care of and technically not need anything. But if it looks like it hasn't been touched in 20 or 30 years, the person coming in might automatically be adding up those dollars like we just talked about. So it's important to note the difference between what's a necessary repair versus something that's outdated. They're not always the same thing. So The top renovations to consider, let's focus on the areas of your home that need major improvement, especially if safety or stability is an issue. That's another thing I always tell my seller clients, either before we put it under contract and list it, or even once we get into escrow. If there are repairs to be made, do the ones that make sense from a safety issue. Those are things you don't want the buyer to have to take care of at all, even if it's something that you can't see. Safety, safety, safety is huge. Other than that, consider these renovations to improve your home's value. Garage door. And you might not be thinking that a garage door is something you need to worry about when you're renovating your home, but you can get about a 95% ROI. So that means you're going to get about dollar for dollar your money back with an expense of only about $3,500 to start with. This is one, though, when I'm talking about your mindset. So if you get your dollar for dollar back, this is one that's totally fine to do that, because what's it doing on the outside? It's improving your curb appeal of your home. So the very first time someone pulls up and looks at your home, they don't have a negative of, ooh, the garage door looks faded, it looks dented, it looks old, it just doesn't look up to date with the rest of the neighborhood. So if you've taken care of that garage door, you've removed a negative connotation about your home immediately. And it's not even a question at that point. It's going to put the buyer in a better frame of mind when they walk into your house to see what else you got going on. So that's one of the ones that a 1-for-1 is totally fine. A minor kitchen remodel. Notice I'm saying not a major kitchen remodel. There's a difference in the ROI on these. This is another one that you're not necessarily going to get a 1-for-1 on your ROI. You're going to get somewhere around 80% on your ROI. But it's another remove the negative type of update. So the kitchen is the heart of the home. Renovating it doesn't have to mean tearing down walls and reinventing your kitchen. Painting the cabinets, switching out appliances, and updating the faucets or light fixtures can get you about an 80% ROI. But again, 80%, while it's not 100% or a 1x, is working on the mindset. I can't tell you, if someone walks into a kitchen that not only looks dated, but looks dirty and looks trashy, they are adding up the dollar signs, ding, 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 in their head immediately. But if you've done a few things like this, like painting the cabinets and replacing the faucets and appliances, it might only be a couple $1,000s, especially if you can go get some of those appliances at a used store that just look good, right? Maybe you want stainless steel in there and everything to match. You don't necessarily go down and drop $5,000 on appliances. A few $100s at a used store can work wonders in your kitchen. And then painting out the cabinets instead of restaining them or refacing them or replacing them also works. Just giving it a little bit of a facelift, spend just a little bit of money and change the mindset and get most of your money back. It's well worth it. New windows. Windows are another great way to improve your home's curb appeal. This is another mindset thing, and it's also a dollars and cents thing. But they also affect your home's energy and efficiency, and that's where the dollars and cents runs into this one. The new person coming to buy your house, even if you had the original windows in there and they would look beautiful, they look perfect, and they operate and function normally. In today's day and age, when someone comes in and they see that they're old single pane windows, they're immediately thinking, whew, this air conditioning bill is going to be expensive, this heating bill is going to be expensive, because it's not efficient. So think of that from that part of it on top of an aesthetic thing. Now they can be a hefty investment, but you should pretty much get all your money back on windows. So if if you're spending a few $1,000s on windows, you should get that back. On a bonus, like I said before, you're going to reduce the energy usage in your home, which will increase the return on your investment. So even in that amount of time, let's just say you want to sell your home in a year or 2 years, and you're looking at all these things to do. And replacing your windows now is great, because when you go to sell, you're going to get most of your money back. But in the meantime, you're going to get ROI on that based on your own energy expenses. New siding or paint. Now, depending on where you live, you may have siding, you may have paint. I would imagine that most people in my area are going to have paint. You might have siding, but in other parts of the country, especially in the Midwest, you've got a lot of siding there, right? So new siding or a fresh coat of paint are other exterior projects that can increase your home's value. This is especially true if your siding is damaged and faded from the sun, or your paint is cracked and peeling. Replacing and repainting with some fresh is the way to go. Now, you're going to get not quite a 100% ROI on this, but you're going to get enough that it increases the curb appeal, and is again one of those negative things that you're removing from the mindset of the buyer when they first come to see your home. Taking away the negatives, not always about the immediate dollars. Now that's my list. Here's some final thoughts. Before you make any home renovations, and I mean before, even if you're thinking of selling not immediately, it's a year, 2 years, even 5 years down the road, talk to a professional like me or your own local agent that maybe they've got a reputation or someone you know, to see how much of an ROI you should receive on your renovations that you're considering. Not all the renovations are the same, and every market could be just a little bit different. There may be some other things that you're considering, and depending on the length of time until you sell, may or may not make sense to do. Some homeowners renovate their home just to make the home look how they want or to give it features they want. But you should always have your ROI in mind so you get the most out of your investment, because you never know when you're going to have to sell and move. Most people don't. You probably won't be in your home forever. So why not choose to get the most out of it by improving its value with the renovations you choose? And I know that was a lot of information, and there's some other things we can talk about. So if you have any specific renovations you're considering, hit me up. I've given you the information before. Comment, and I'll respond. Email me, I'll respond. Text me, I'll respond. The best thing you can do for me right now is reach over there and subscribe. Right over there. Little button right there. Go ahead and subscribe. Subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe on my YouTube. That way you get all my updates. I'm starting to really dig in now that the market's in flux. There's going to be a lot of questions going on, and I'm here to answer all of them and provide as much insight and information as I can. So make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss anything. Thank you, and we'll see you again.
Folks, I appreciate your continued support. If you haven't already done so, please don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your friends. Leave your comments and questions below, and I'll get back to you when I can. Have a great day. See you soon.